Yes.
Okay, should I have something on?
Andrea, we're on.
Hello and welcome. I'm hoping that you're hearing us well. This is our first time. We are the Foreign Therapist Group in the Czech Republic. We're here really doing a live broadcast. We've been asked as part of the expat community to really offer some support for those who are living in the Czech Republic and who speak various languages, but maybe Czech is not your native. We're all from different places and we're using this space here really to have questions from you and to discuss really what you might need, how you're feeling in COVID. But just as a disclaimer, as a frame before we start, we wanted to say that because of the being on social media, we cannot define a confidential space for you. We cannot ensure these confidentiality kind of borders and boundaries. So the advice that we may offer is not going to be what you would receive in individual psychotherapy. It can be psychotherapy kind of supportive for you, advice, but it's not psychotherapy. We're not offering a treatment. We're offering support to you. And please feel free to write questions, but also have an awareness of when you write your question that it will go up onto the chat and everybody can see it. They can see that with your name. So just be mindful of how you place your question because we don't know where it will go. So that said, we really want to hear from you, but we want to protect you in this social media sharing world where everybody can share everything and we don't know where it goes. So welcome to our first meeting. I guess we can introduce ourselves and say that this is our first meeting. We may have lots of technical problems. We don't know how this will go, whether it's sound or vision, it might freeze. But
perhaps at the beginning, we want also to say that we have 40 minutes time.
Absolutely.
So we end at 8:10, I think. Yes.
8:10.
Prague time. And probably we three will discuss together. We are the discussion group. We are not only the experts. We will be in interaction. As we like to be.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so maybe we could introduce ourselves. Maybe I can start a little bit. So I'm Andrea Nundimala with a Czech surname and an English surname. So I'm originally from London. I'm a British person living here and I've been here for 12 years. And my specialization is looking at psychotherapy through the body. So mixing the verbal and the non-verbal expression. So I'm working with a variety of clients in individual psychotherapy that looks at really how to express yourself through your body and your words. I work with the expat community. Many foreigners come to see me, and I have a small private practice close to Malostranský náměstí, which is currently closed, sadly. So I'm doing work online, and we're managing this way at the moment. So that's a little bit about me. Also, I am qualified and licensed with the Czech Association of Psychotherapy and the Association of Dance Movement Psychotherapy in the UK. So I can pass on to one of my lovely clients.
Okay, I can go. So I'm Beate Albrich. This is not an English name, it's a German name. So my mother tongue is German, but I'm Saxon. I'm born in Romania and my parents went to Germany when I was very small, into their home country. I lived in different countries, in Italy for a while, and I speak a lot of languages, but the best is Czech, English, and German, but then Italian and French if it's needed. And if you want to write something in another language, I think we figure it out. I live a long time in Czech Republic, and I have also a private practice. I'm a person-centered psychotherapist and an art therapist, trained art therapist. I belong also to the Czech Association of Psychotherapy and also to the International Association for Art Therapy, to the Federation, EFAT. What else is important? I worked a lot of years, 17 years actually, in the mental health sector. And now I do a lot of supervisions and training. So I'm and my English, I have to say, and I'm a little nervous about that. My English is not so perfect. So please be nice to me with English or help me out. My colleagues can help me out if I don't. So that's basically.
My name is Katja Krzyzkova. I'm stealing the show from you now. I am a licensed therapist, integrative Gestalt therapist, which is a combination of body, mind or talk, and spirit, so breath. I have my own private practice here in Prague, and I've started this group of foreign therapists group, which will be able to offer foreigners who are here someone to talk to who maybe shares their same culture or knows what it's like to be a foreigner here or a foreigner anywhere. I see English-speaking clients as well as people who speak English who are not British or American. I also see Czech people. I speak Czech and English. I am from, I'm a third culture kid, which means I was born in Africa, lived in America, I lived in Sri Lanka. I am a global citizen more than from anywhere. So I also have clients who have the same kind of background. And I'm very happy to be here with my colleagues and to talk about how COVID is affecting all of us and how we're coping with it. And the kind of questions that you might have are very interesting to me, but also maybe we can just share how, you know, our clients are dealing and some of the things that are helpful to them. I see we have a client here. No, we haven't had a client here yet. Sorry. So shall we talk about it then? COVID.
I guess we should talk about COVID. What happens to us in COVID? Well, I was really thinking about the inner and the outer. Like when the world says no, what happens to us? And how the experience of not being able to go outside means that quite often we have to really go inside, or we're asked to go inside. And because of that, many difficult feelings can arise because of the feeling of going inside, where maybe sometimes when we experience sadness or anger or loss or whatever, we can go outside into the world and do something with it. But this time we're inside and we have to be more with the feelings. So I think this can be a very challenging moment for us. What happens when the world is closed outside to us, when there's restrictions? What happens to our feelings? And I'm particularly interested in what happens to the body in that moment. I was thinking about how to manage the body and the body feelings when we can't go out so freely, can't jump on the bus and jump into the pub, although we can right now. What happens really, how can we be with the body in the home of the body, in the inside, when the outside is closed? And finding ways in which
a lot of what I'm hearing you say, Andrea, is sort of identifying the feelings that we're feeling and maybe doing something with our bodies with it, rather than just with our heads and thinking about it and becoming more anxious or depressed or sad.
Absolutely.
Where we can actually use our body to help us somehow deal with the feelings that we're feeling.
Or maybe even try to be creative in the way that if we can't always go and talk to a friend or take the feelings outside, how can we be creative with those feelings in our spaces at home?
Nice.
So I don't know if this is a topic that's around for people, how to manage the body and your feelings when you're inside.
It's funny because I grew up in various different cultures where expression was, let's say, even screaming out of a window just to get out the emotions was commonplace, and I don't hear it here very much.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that actually as foreigners in Czech Republic, we rely a lot on friends, on going out, on the society here, on the town, on what's going, yeah. And now we have to probably go back more into our private life, and also to think about our former families, about our biography. Why are we here? What are we doing here? I mean, years we can go with work and friends and new families here in Prague or in Czech Republic, but our former family is somewhere else, and our home is somewhere else, and that's another point which I think is quite difficult in these times, to think, okay, where am I from? What do I do here? Why am I here? Yeah, I was thinking about these family stories which are important.
Who am I if I am not at home? Where am I at home? And can I be home in me? And how hard it is not to. I think that a lot of the moving around, it's easier to be expressive and out of our bodies. But the minute that we begin to say, okay, so if I'm home, where I am, where is my home? Where is it? Is it my shoulder? Is it in my stomach? Is it in my hips? How can I feel like, yeah, I'm okay, I'm home in me? And I think that that's an exercise, actually, more than anything. An exercise to us, somehow, that we need to be comfortable with or get to somehow.
Because I'm thinking that, I've lived here 12 years, so I'm fairly settled in my space here. But there are many people who come, to the Czech Republic through work, contracts, or study, and so on, or through relationships, and they are, not as established. So the space may not be settled, it may not be concrete, it may not be a home. So how do you stay inside in a space that's temporary?
Yes.
And I think that's also a part of the issue. How do I form a comfortable space where I can feel safe, and when the world outside is quite hostile, to feel okay and comfortable in a space that I haven't particularly said that I want to establish as my home? And I think this can be a challenge.
Or we have established it, but now it's again with a question mark.
Yes.
Is it the right place to be? Is it the right? Can we scream out the window? Or who is helping us? Who's supporting us?
And what is okay to do here? Yeah, what is okay to do here? Am I going to fit in if I do it? If I don't do it? And the people that I'm meeting are not part of my home. So am I acting correctly, or will I be accepted if I tell them I don't want to see them? Will I lose them if I don't want to go to a bar now because I'm still afraid and I want to meet outside, for example? Does it mean that I will lose them? Yeah, because if I was established here, I would know that I wouldn't lose them. But if I'm only here for 3 years or 2 years, then I might feel like I could lose the people because of maybe some of the things that I'm persuaded that I shouldn't go out, for example. Yeah, how much do I go out? It's a very difficult time. I'm seeing it. It's a difficult time for me too. For all of us.
I think it's a difficult time, definitely for everybody, especially adjusting to this digital world. Some people are very familiar with it. I myself am not so familiar with it. And to adjust work to be into this kind of digital world when we're not meeting people. And then I was watching something and think about touch and how our bodies have become contaminated, if you like. Like it's many people are fearful of being close to somebody.
Yes.
Like, touch on the bus was quite normal. You would knock somebody on the bus and it would be okay. But nowadays we're tense. We're wondering, does that person have something? Do I have something? It's contamination. And I think that's a lot.
Yeah. It's what I saw today. I went by car to Šumava, to the south of Bohemia, so through the woods. And there was a company of cutting wood. Yeah. So I stopped the car and I just went out to smell it. And I
Yes.
think I need to smell it. And actually, one of the very clear indicators of COVID is that the smell get lost.
Yeah.
And I thought about our senses, about touch and smell and see and move and taste. And I think this is already something we all can do at home. We can be creative, and we have to taste and smell and touch as much as possible.
Absolutely.
Ourselves, materials, and to stay alive.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think this is a really good idea, like coping mechanism or something. It's like really, especially when I think about touching fabrics or things that maybe you're comfortable with, whether it's a really soft blanket. I know I have a nice soft blanket, and sometimes I need to touch it when I'm sitting online. I have a blanket under my feet so I can feel my feet. So just being really aware of, you have something to, just being really aware of like the surfaces that you're touching. We all have something.
Yes. Yes.
I think this is very, very important, because we can kind of drift in this world and we can lose the sense of the edges and the boundaries of ourselves.
Yes, especially alone. We don't have anything that defines us when we are alone and we're in a big bubble, because I know a lot of people are alone, working alone, have been alone, don't have anybody to talk to in their home, and are stuck at home. Yeah, and by covering their mouth, they also feel, I recognize that it really does a lot. It keeps me away from you. I'm not in contact with you as much as I used to be. So
Absolutely.
even alone, even so on, I think that people don't realize how important it is to feel. That we didn't have to feel because we were feeling in the world. And now we have that cut off. And I think that people don't realize that to just sort of outline my body, outline it. Is this me? It's me. I can be here. What are the feelings that I'm feeling? And I think it causes a lot of anxiety when we lose the feeling of where we are, where we begin and where the rest starts.
Yeah.
And I think it's the best way how not to be anxious is to feel, where am I ending, where the world starting, how can I be in touch, and it's simple. Actually, it's simple to smell and touch and taste, and to do small things, to hold on, to know where I am, and I'm not only tired of all the Zoom meetings and whatever, home offices and so on.
And even during those especially meetings, I find myself in the very beginning of COVID that I was so concentrated on the screen that I lost sense of where I was. I didn't feel my feet. I realized at the end of the meeting, my foot was sleeping, my back was hurting, my head was hurting, my eyes I couldn't see. I thought, wow, where was I? During the whole meeting, I was gone. So I really recognize that during the meetings, I have to keep myself somehow aware. Yeah. So be a little bit with the people and a lot with me, more with me.
And I think we can do that kind of simply, even in the structure of the day, like waking up and, I don't know, feeling your feet on the floor as you get out of the bed. I mean, I have a nice soft rug there, so I put my feet on it, and just feeling the difference between whether the floor is cold or the floor is warm, just really having an awareness even of temperature of things, just really kind of, my coffee is hot when I hold it, maybe my computer is cold before it's been on for 24 hours.
Yes.
And I think we need also our voice. We need to make sounds.
Yes.
To sing or to hear music, to sing, to dance. To be more in movement.
Yes.
I do find also that a lot of people that I've spoken with are very angry, that they feel sad. But in the bottom, when we go deeper and deeper, we find that there's a lot of hostility and anger during this time. So I also believe that the voice should be used to scream, not at someone, but out, getting the energy out, going, into the forest and maybe taking something and throwing it and really feeling the anger out of us, because our boundaries have been somehow crossed by saying you can't go anywhere. So that feeling might be really hostile. And instead of taking it out on someone or screaming on someone or feeling ourselves as the culprit behind it and feeling depressed, then I find that using that voice and really getting the anger out. I find a lot of people angry also nowadays.
And I want to invite again, Jakob, you can write your comments or questions and we just go there with you. I mean, we can talk all the days long.
Yeah, so maybe you can say what would be useful for you, because we can, as Beata says, we can talk, but we would also like to try to be useful somehow as well.
Because I'm thinking it's coming a hard time. Also, Christmas will be a hard time being here alone or being only on, I don't know, Skype with my parents or whatever. So it can be also a very depressive time. So it's fine to find a way how to make it the best out of it, and the new out of it, perhaps also.
It's a very sensitive time because many people, regardless of being in the pandemic or not, Christmas or holiday season can be really sensitive time for people who've experienced loss, who are looking after carers. I mean, there's people might be experiencing depression, somebody who might be in a difficult relationship and their environment is not supportive. There are so many various reasons. Which can be like exacerbated, made worse by this COVID situation.
I find it is exasperate doing what you said. Exactly.
I want also to invite people to go to therapy. I think it's a great space where we can share, where we can have a relationship, and even if it's now perhaps online, but also live with the thing, it's possible already. We can meet people and I think it's good to share these things, not to stay alone with whatever feelings I have and I cannot cope. And I always say to my clients, which are from a lot of countries, they are heroes. I mean, they are heroes to be here, and they are superheroes of their life stories, and they are heroes if they come to therapy. If they do the step to say, I want to reflect, I want to see, I want to cope with my life, I want to look at it. I think it's a great opportunity also.
It really takes something to kind of go into therapy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a courageous step.
And I also think it's something a little bit about saying I deserve to feel a bit better about myself. I deserve to have the opportunity to do it differently, or to see it differently, or to connect differently.
Yeah.
So.
And to get a completely different perspective on our lives.
Absolutely.
Yes. To be able to say, I can look at it in a different way as well. I don't have to see it only from the back. I can also look at it from the front. And I think that that's what therapy also allows us to do, is that we can just sort of say, okay, wait, I could see it the other way. And I just wanted to say also that it's okay to feel shit now. Excuse my language, and it was public live, but it's normal somehow that people are not feeling well. And that's also good to hear if you're listening here and being with us, that it's normal. Nobody is really having an easy time with this. Yeah. I would say that people who had practiced yoga and who had done therapy may have more skills in their backpacks, so they're able to know what they need and know how to function. But even those people are really also having a hard time. So it wouldn't be strange if you are.
And and you say yoga, but I started to paint again. I mean, I'm an art therapist, so I do, and I'm also, we ourselves, we also go to support groups to get our support, and so I think everybody deserves to have a good support.
Yes,
absolutely. I mean, I know I started dancing around the house again. Finding a space to dance around, just playing a really good song that might connect me with a good memory, and just dancing. And I don't know if somebody's watching me, like my husband or family or something like that. Okay, fine, it doesn't matter. But just to really release and to have some fun with just dancing and enjoying your body to music. This is also good. I know I'm doing this. Trying to go out and walk as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is that what would you suggest if somebody was really having a hard time and maybe had some hostility in their home? What are answers that we would help them find, or what are some suggestions that we could, offer them?
It can be really challenging. Yeah, go on, Beate, you want to say?
No, I just wanted to say I think it's very individual, and that it's important to say that everyone, we all have now COVID, but still everyone is an individual person and needs his own way how to cope with it. And the suggestion is to find this way. And sometimes we need help. Sometimes we need someone like a therapist. To find my own way to feel well, or to feel better, or to understand what I'm feeling. I mean, that's also important, to understand how I'm feeling and what I'm feeling. Katja goes out.
And she comes back. Yes, and I think everybody has an absolute individual story. Yeah, I was saying everybody has an individual story, and also we all have individual situation and capacity in that situation. Whether if it's challenging at home, is there a moment where you can go out every day for a walk on your own, if it's on your own, or find a quiet place to sit outside that can be just a space for you, so you can then come back into it. So you can also find your way of managing whether it's, being in a space in the home on your own with, I don't know, a blanket or some good material or something, really just some quiet time for yourself.
Yes. So outline my space. Just define my space. Yes. I agree. Helping each person find whatever it is that they need.
Absolutely.
Yes, but I do think that we can go outside, and that is a space that, even though it's freezing cold outside now, it is a space that does change from being just constantly behind the computer and on. I recommend outside at least 20 minutes a day to people who are at home, if they can leave, then to just breathe the air outside for a little while.
I think we all need to find a new rhythm. We had every one of us had a rhythm, and this is now different. So we are in a phase of instability. Our stable stuff is a little bit shaked with, and it's important to find the way. How can I be on this wave? How can I live with it now? And what is my way to cope? And many times it's ways we had in our childhood, or when we were small. We knew how to play and how to be funny and how to go outside, or how to dance, or how to paint, or sing. So just to use our capacity, what we have.
Yeah, absolutely. Like connecting to a creativity, I think this is also a really good source. This is what I hear. Connecting to the creativity, the parts of ourselves that, I think most people have something they really enjoy doing, whether it's painting or reading or singing, or I don't know, even if it's painting your fingernails or toenails or something small. It doesn't have to be a big artistic invention, for example, but just something really that they enjoy doing that can be creative. That maybe can also be away from the digital world, whether it can be cooking. I also enjoy cooking, like creating good food to taste.
Yes. And I think that this whole idea of touch and so on also reflects on self-care, Yeah, so really to spend an hour creaming the body, after the bath is to really spend the time where because we were so involved so much, we didn't take so much time and care that we can now, that we can spend an hour, putting cream on our legs, every corner of our legs, and feeling our hands touching our legs and smelling the cream and being aware of the little smell, of the little touch that we feel, and just being in that and not having to be in the
Well,
head.
I think you're talking about mindfulness, to be
Yes.
attentive, to use your self-care, to be mindful.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
And on the other hand, I think we also need to be strong and to have our boundaries and to say, no, I don't want to go into that. Or, we are also allowed to be alone with ourselves and to do nothing. And also to say, yes, it's always about me. It's how I can be myself.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can refuse things. It's okay to say no.
Yes.
It's okay to say, yes, I would like to join.
Mm-hmm.
This is important to know that you have even in this world, this world and this time when everything outside is saying no, it doesn't mean to say that you can't say no as well. That you can still say yes and no to things. I mean, of course, there's a limit. But I'm thinking about a choreographer. I think it was Gigi Kilian who said, limits in choreography create the best pieces. Because when you're limited, then there's something about the limit or the boundary that can really inspire new thought, new creativity, a new way of doing and being. So maybe it's good to try to reframe the limit into actually it can be something creative.
Yeah.
But I found some people are quite happy about their plants that they're growing, for example, that they really take time every day to visit their plants and speak with their plants. And that somehow that makes them happy. That it's really about, like you said, Beata, finding what's right for you. And that is how a therapist can help, because they can help you discover what is inside by listening and you hearing what you're saying reflected through the voice of the therapist. Yeah. That even flowers can bring joy.
Indeed.
The plants. I was very surprised at how much mine had grown in this last year.
Because we're spending so much time watching them also.
Yes.
I mean, there's also the other part of like the attention of detail that we're giving to the more inner world, whether it's ourselves or our space,
Yes. True.
So we can cultivate that part.
I want to take the other part. I mean, it's also it's a hard time for some people, and it's also sometimes it's fine to say I need some antidepressants. I need to see a psychiatrist. I need to calm down. I need to, I don't know, something for sleep. So I think in Prague there are a lot of crisis centers or offers of psychiatrists who can also do a medical care. We as a therapist, we can be with you, but the medical care is somebody else. And sometimes it's also fine to say, yes, I need some support to go through this. And it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's or I'm not strong enough or something. It's sometimes we need to be supported. And that can be also chemical. I just want to line it out that it's also important not to forget about that.
I mean, because these are unprecedented times, as the news say. We don't know. None of us have lived through this particular time. So it's really about finding a way to cope and manage. And if that does mean taking medication, that's really okay. If it does mean asking psychotherapists for support, this is okay. Or if it means just rolling around the floor in a blanket, this is also okay. Finding your way. But there is help out there. There are crisis lines and supportive people who are speaking. Well, we know of some people who are speaking in English. We know of some people who are speaking in German, Yeah, I think we've got Spanish. What other languages do we have?
Slovenian, we have
French, I think.
French, Israeli.
Israeli. I know that there are some Russian psychotherapists out there also. So there will be someone somewhere who can support you in your language, or if you're comfortable with English also, this is possible. So you don't have to be alone. I think this is probably one of the reasons why we wanted to kind of do this, and that maybe the impulse behind this is that for me, I was thinking I just wanted to say that you don't have to be alone and manage alone in this time. You can reach out, and there are people here, and we are thinking about how to develop the community here to give you some support. So
Yeah,
it's possible.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking we have like 5 minutes, so we'll do a time check. So I don't know if we have any last some comments in the 5 minutes. We don't have a comment at the moment.
No comment.
So maybe it's worth. I mean, we don't know if we would continue this. If it goes fairly well, maybe we would meet again and we would continue. But from the community there, it would be really useful to hear some feedback of something that might be useful for you to talk about, or to hear us talk about. So you could post your questions or give us some feedback, and we can, take it from there and develop. Because this is also a developing platform for us too.
I did kind of want to comment also about how if you really are feeling badly, it is important to take care of yourself. And if it's a long time that you've been feeling badly, we really recommend that you go to see someone because it is a hard time, unprecedented, but also Christmas is a very difficult time, and we know it from our experience. And we would like to, I would like to support you in choosing to do something for you, because everyone is worth it, and everyone is a hero, as Beata said.
Absolutely.
And being a hero sometimes means going back and getting some extra armor.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, you can't fight the war without armor sometimes, right? You need some weapons.
Yes.
And I mean, you have to do the step. It's hard sometimes to do the step out, to say, okay, I reach out for support or help, or I have to do something. So it's always about I have to do something. And I think many people during this time also are blocked. They don't want to do anything. They're in their homes and in their lives and in their Netflix world.
Netflix world.
And it's hard to do this step, but we are people who need other people, and this will be always. So it's fine to say, okay, go to meet, and also if it's only online or if it's a little talk or something, go out to reach other people.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're coming to a close. We were here for 40 minutes. We're going to stop in a couple of minutes.
I guess I'm feeling like I need to move a little.
You're feeling like you need to move? Yeah. Me too.
Stretch a little, realize that I'm here, where my body is.
Absolutely.
That I'm here.
Maybe go outside and have some fresh air. Maybe we can still do that. We haven't got a curfew anymore. We can step outside.
I'm just going to open the window actually today because I've been outside a bit. But it was a pleasure to see you, women, my colleagues, and I look forward to maybe doing this again here.
Yes,
absolutely.
So, well, ending here, and we are happy that we were here. It's also our first time, so
absolutely.
If perhaps there will be a next one.
I look forward to hearing anything that anybody who was watching us was interested in or would like change or would like more of.
Okay, so until next time.
Until next time.
Okay, have a good evening. Bye-bye. Bye.